What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another live stream Sunday. It's Ages of Film. It's your boy Clayton. It's 70s, baby. Hope you guys got your list together because we're going to be ranking some horror films from the 1970s. As always, let me know how I am on sound, if I sound okay. If not, I can go in and fix a few things, but let's see who we got in the chat with us today. Let's see what you freaks are doing. We got Mason, King of Horror, is in the house. What is up, Mason, my man? Saying can't wait. Jaws better be here. I'm so excited. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, one of my favorite movies. So is Jaws. So is Carrie. Love the 70s. Hills Have Eyes gets mentioned. Dominique St. Clair's is in the house. What is up, Dom? Glad you could be here, man. Thanks for stopping by. Get your list ready because I'm interested to see what you guys are going to be throwing at me today, 70s style. Jerry Wilson is in the house. What is up, Jerry? My man right there, one of my mods. Jerry's the dude, man. Jerry's one of the coolest guys out there. Cool Hand Luke. That's Jerry right there, man. Thanks for being here, Jerry. Glad you could make it. Excited to see your list too. I know Wrong Turn's gonna make the cut. So that's a little inside joke for Jerry. Jerry's also saying, please smash that like button. Yes, if you haven't already, smash the like button, helps the channel out. Also, if you like the content, go ahead and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. It's another way to help out the channel. I appreciate everyone for being here. I love all my subs. You guys know that. You guys mean the world to me. I'm so glad to have you guys. I read all your comments too on my videos. I love the interaction. I love hearing from you guys. So yeah, hit the like, hit the subscribe button. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you for that, Jerry. Mason saying hi. What is up, Mason? All right. Oh yeah. Mason saying, of course, I like and subscribe for a long time. Hell yeah, man. That's what I'm talking about. That is what I am talking about. All right. Let's see. I think we're good. I think we got everybody. All right. I'm excited, guys. Let's freaking go. 70 style, baby. We're pulling a little Marty McFly, time traveling, hopping that DeLorean, and yeah, we're headed to the 70s. So I just got to say, the 70s, I would probably say, is my favorite decade of horror. I know a lot of people love the 80s. 80s is, that's kind of the Renaissance period for horror. It's got, more smash hits than probably any other decade for horror, at least. Yeah, so I get, for people that love the 80s, I get it. There's some of my favorite horror movies are from the 80s, but collectively, I feel like the 70s have the most horror movies that I love. So I always go back and forth between 70s and 80s, and even the 2000s, I think, have a lot of great horror movies. But if I was pressed on it and was forced to answer, I would probably say 70s is my favorite decade of horror. There's just so many bangers in the 70s. So many movies that I love from this decade. And it's literally got my top 2 favorite horror movies of all time are in the 70s. So yeah, I would probably say if I was really pressed on it, I would probably say 70s. It's my favorite decade of horror. So I'm excited. This list was hard, dude. Let me just tell you, this list was hard. So I went back this week and I was looking over, different 70s horror films and on my catalog of horror content, and I didn't realize just how many great horror movies were in the 70s. I knew there was a lot, and I knew that I loved a lot of the 70s horror stuff, but I didn't realize how many there were. And I didn't realize it was going to be this hard to do a top 10 from the 70s. So yeah, this was fun. It was hard. And dude, there's a lot of honorable mentions from this decade that I'm not going to mention, obviously, because this is only my top 10, but just know that there's several movies that didn't quite make the cut, but would definitely be honorable mentions for me for this decade. So I'm excited to see y'all's list. Let's get right into this, man. Party like it was 1999, baby. All right. So as always, we're going to start from the bottom, work our way to the top. Let me get my list, pull my list up here. All right. Okay. So get y'all's list out. Let's power through this, man. Starting with number 10 skis. Here's my number 10. I got I Drink Your Blood from 1972. Not a film that I hear mentioned a lot. I feel like this is a movie that a lot of people probably haven't seen. But I love this movie. And this one just makes the cut. There were a few movies that I was really debating on putting in this 10th slot. And it kind of came down to just a couple of things. One of them being like the enjoyment, the rewatch value. And for me, I Drink Your Blood is just such a fun time and such a fun experience. I feel like I go back to this movie more than the other contenders that were competing for that 10th spot. So, and it doesn't quite have the recognition as some of the other movies from the 70s out there. So I also wanted to kind of give it some recognition by putting it on this list. So yeah, I Drink Your Blood is my number 10. If you haven't checked it out, I would highly recommend it. I get it's not everyone's cup of tea, but it is mine, and I do really enjoy it. It sounds like it might be like a vampire movie or something, but it's actually not a vampire movie. It's more of, a crazy, if you like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, if you like Wrong Turn, Jerry, if you like, that those type of movies, I feel like you would like I Drink Your Blood. So it's kind of in that, in that realm of horror. But just it's a blast from start to finish. So yeah, I Drink Your Blood is my number 10. Again, if you haven't checked it out, do yourself a favor and go do so. But let's see what the chat is saying. Mason saying, I love 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. I love them all. Yeah, all the decades, like 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, they all have their bangers, right? Like all of them have, certain horror movies that are just, cream of the crop. So definitely agreed there. Mason saying his two favorite horror movies are Jaws and Halloween, both 70s. So I don't know what number one will be. Mason, he's going for it. Mason's also saying I Drink Your Blood is like a super fun movie. It's like Return of the Living Dead before Return of the Living Dead. Yeah, yeah, that's a good way to describe it, Mason. I like that. That's a good way to describe it because you're right. Return of the Living Dead is one of those super fun movies. That's just I don't know what it is about the movie or what it does to just grab your attention, but it's so damn fun. And that's a lot like what I Drink Your Blood is like, just a fun ride all the way through. So yeah, I like that. I like that description. That's pretty accurate. I would agree with that. Let's see. From Texas is in the house. What is up? Glad you could be here. Hope you're doing well. And yeah, we're still on number 10. Just started, so I gave my number 10 as I Drink Your Blood. But from Texas saying, well, I haven't seen enough horror flicks from the 70s to come up with a top 15 or top 12 or even top 10. But I do have a few favorites from that era, though. That's awesome, dude. Let me know. I would love to see what your favorites from the 70s are. And I know, yeah, the 70s, that's back a ways for some people. That's stretching it a bit from kind of where their time range is for horror films or just movies in general. So I get it. I totally get it. But I would say some of my favorite horror movies of all time are from the 70s. But yeah, let me know your list, man. I would still love to see what you got. And Mason saying it's like a zombies movie. I Drink Your Blood. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It pulls a lot of different type of horror genres, and kind of mixes them all together in one big pot. So yeah, but it gets crazy, man. It gets, there's a lot of crazy fun in it. So again, definitely recommend checking it out if you haven't already. Moving into number 9. Let me pull up my number 9 here for you. Uh All right. Are there a few that are not on here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are. I only have 7 on here. What happened to my other 3? Bear with me just a minute, guys. For some reason, it did not upload 3 of my picks. Okay. I think we're good. All right. Number 9. I'm going with The Omen, baby. The Omen from 1976, the original. That is what is up. The Omen, yeah, man. Love this movie. It definitely holds up on rewatches for me. It kind of one of those psychological horror films. I wouldn't necessarily call it like paranormal horror. It's not really paranormal, but it is definitely like it has that psychological horror to it, like Rosemary's Baby, or Carnival of Souls. It carries over some of that psychological horror, but it just puts it in just a super fun story, with great characters, great acting, very well directed, especially for its time. I love this movie. It holds up, and it's such an interesting concept too, of this couple that essentially find out that their son Damien is the Antichrist and is going to essentially try to take over the world, cause the apocalypse to happen, Armageddon and all that stuff. So it's like, what do you do? Like, what do you do if you find out that your son is the devil himself and is the Antichrist. Like, it raises some interesting questions. But I love just how the story unfolds. So yeah, The Omen is my number 9. Love this movie, still holds up for me. So yeah, let me know what you guys got for your number 9. Let us see. Mason saying so underrated. Yeah, the I Drink Your Blood, very underrated movie. Agreed. Dominique St. Clair saying Final Destination films, Saw franchise, Jason X, Freddy vs. Jason, The Ring, The Grudge franchise, etc. Grizzly is Jaws for bears from the 70s. Yeah, it's pretty accurate. Pretty accurate. Whoa, what just happened? Let's see. Dominique saying the Omen deaths are very Final Destination like. A little bit, yeah. I mean, I see where you're coming from with that. Like, I see where, yeah, I can rationalize that. It makes sense. Um, a Final Destination is an interesting franchise, man. Like, it's very original. Like, there's not really. I think that's one reason I love the Final Destination. Well, at least a couple of the Final Destination movies, because it's very original in its concept. Like, it actually has death be the killer. It's not a guy, it's not a monster, it's not a creature of some sort. It's death itself. Um and it's got some gnarly deaths, man. Final Destination franchise got some gnarly deaths, but yeah, I see where you're coming from. I never thought of it like that. So that's pretty cool that you got that. Um, Mason saying classic. The new one was good, but it was nothing like the original classic. He's the son of the devil. What are you gonna do? Yeah, yeah, man. What are you gonna do? Like, that's the question, man. That's the $1,000,000 question. I haven't seen the new one. I really haven't seen many new releases this year, guys, to be honest with you. Most of the stuff I'm doing is for my channel, so just watching a bunch of different movies, older movies from my channel. I've got something really big in the works right now that I'm still working through, that hopefully will be getting dropped later this month. But yeah, I haven't seen the new one. Haven't heard the best, like the best things about it, so I'm kind of hesitant. I mean, I'm still going to check it out. I know I'm going to check it out, but my expectations aren't that high for it. I like the remake. I did like the remake. I thought the remake was pretty solid, but yeah, I don't think any of them live up to that original. Maybe Mason saying the window kill from this movie is amazing. Like, at first you have no idea. It was shocking the first time I saw it. Yeah, dude. Yeah, that window scene is iconic. Classic scene. That's like the I would probably say the most popular scene from this movie is that window scene. It's all for you, Damien. It's all for you. Great scene. Great stuff. All right. So from Texas is saying TCM 1974, Phantasm, of course, because the tall man is freaking great, and I do like some of the other characters in the movie as well. That's a good call on Phantasm, the original Phantasm. And honestly, The first Phantasm is one of my honorable mentions. That was one that got very close to making the cut for this list, but just it was close. And maybe, on another day I might throw it in on the 10th spot, but I do like Phantasm a lot. It's a good movie, and the Tall Man, very underrated horror character. So yeah, I like that. Good call on that one. Also, he's saying Jaws, Carpenter's Halloween, and the original Alien are some of my other favorites too. Yeah, yeah, those should be in everyone's list for the 70s, to be honest. Dominique St. Clair saying number 9 is Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Interesting call, Don. I like it, man. I like it. I would not have expected that, but I like it. Have not seen the movie, but you got me curious about it now, man. And that's making your top 10. I might have to check that one out. You guys are awesome. Awesome possum. All right, number 8. Number 8. Number 8, I'm going with this bad boy right here. The original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, 1973. What is up? Yeah, baby. TCM, the original, man. Yeah, it's a great film. I love it. This is one that has grown on me over time. I've come to like this movie more and more over the years. Originally, when I saw it, I wasn't very big on it. I think it's because the first Texas movie that I saw was the remake, the '03 remake. That was my first Texas movie. So when I watched the original, after having seen the remake and the prequel to the remake, the beginning, when I came to this one the first time, I wasn't a fan. I just didn't feel like the quality held up at all to the remake. I didn't like the performances. There's just a number of things that I didn't like the first time I saw it. But over time, this movie has won me over. And now I can honestly say I'm a fan of the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I do love this movie now. I like it more and more every time I see it. So yeah, because I have adjusted the lens by which I see this movie through now. It makes a lot more sense to me. I see what Tobe Hooper was doing. You have to watch a movie on its own terms and understand what the director was trying to do. And the first time I saw this movie, I didn't do that. I was just, I was comparing it with the remake and just, oh, it's not as good as the remake. But now I see, I see the artistic narrative that Tobe Hooper was going for, and it makes a lot more sense. And it allows me to be able to sit back and enjoy this movie a lot more now. So yes, I do really like the original Texas now. And it's a classic. It's iconic. Definitely recommend it to anyone that hasn't seen it. But yeah, this is the movie that brought us the Sawyer family, the movie that brought us Leatherface. Just great stuff, man. Love it. So TCM, the original, is my number 8. What does what's the chat got for me? Mason saying Alien is one of the best 70s movies, period. Dominique St. Clair saying number 8 is Blackula from 72. That's a good one. I think I've only seen that one maybe once. But I remember liking it. I definitely remember liking it. So Interesting pick for your number 8 man. I love reading Dominic's picks because he always has like a few that are I find really interesting, and I love seeing. It's not like a normal or typical list. He always has those couple that I don't really see coming, and I love seeing his list. So good call there, Dom. Mason saying uh the original 1974 classic is one of my favorite movies ever. How only number 8? Yeah, man. Like I said, a lot of it comes down to not liking it the first time I saw it, but over time it has won me over. There are still things that hold it back a little bit for me. I still prefer the remake over the original. I think the remake is the best of the franchise. It's still my favorite of the franchise. I think it's a perfect Texas movie, but there are a few things that kind of hold the original back for me. The performances being one of them. I still don't think the acting in the original Texas is very good, man. I just don't. The acting in the remake is much better by everybody. The perform Gunnar Hansen is good as Leatherface. He's about the only one that actually, reels in a good performance. The main girl, I don't think she's Sally, the girl who plays Sally. I don't think she gives a great performance. Her other friends, her brother, Franklin, is so over the top. I don't think he gives a good performance. So the acting quality in this original movie is not very good, in my opinion. I've always said that. I'll stand by that opinion. That's one reason I have the remake over the original. The remake actually has good performances by everybody. So that's one criticism I still have with the original Texas movie. There's a few other things, but overall, it's still a great movie. I still love this movie. I have a good time with it. And I can definitely see the appeal, why people love this movie. So if you have it as your number 1 or number 2, I get it. Like it makes sense. So it's just for me, the 7 movies I have above it do more for me. So but yeah, Texas, the original still makes my top 10. My Chucky Jordy is in the house. What is up? Glad you could make it. Thanks for being here. Hope you're having a great Sunday and a great weekend. Let me know your list, Jordy. I would love to see what you got. We're on number 8 right now. Mason saying, I love this movie as much as the original Jaws and Halloween and Chucky movies. Wow. That's big time, because Mason is a big time Chucky fan. Mason, he loves him some Chucky. So that says a lot, that Mason puts this movie up with those, because I know Mason is a diehard Chucky fan. That's pretty cool. Mason saying the dinner scene is scary, like super scary. Yeah, the dinner scene is, that's an iconic scene. That's, that one's executed very well. Mason saying the chainsaw dance at the end of the movie is perfect. I love the cinematography in that last shot, the orange hue in the background from the Texas sunset, or I guess it would be sunrise because it's technically morning at that point. Yeah, just the imagery, the shot of that last scene is just fucking great stuff, man. From text saying Leatherface and his chainsaw and his sadistic clan of cannibals are freaking terrifying and so iconic. Oh yeah, dude, it's the family, the Sawyer family is legendary. Legendary. Faux show. My Chunky Joy saying love Halloween, Black Christmas, and the Amityville Horror. Can't stand OG TCM because of Franklin. Love the remake. Yeah, that's a valid criticism, Jordy. That's a very valid criticism, and that's one of my criticisms. Again, I'm not a fan of the acting in the movie. I don't think it's very good. I understand why. The actors are very green. They didn't have the studio budget to go out and hire Jack Nicholson for this movie. So they're very rookie green actors. So I get it. I understand why, but it still doesn't give me a good viewing experience. Like it doesn't give the acting a pass. I still have to deal with it from a viewing experience. So yeah, that's a valid criticism. And yes, I also love the remake. It's my favorite of the franchise and one of my favorites. One of my favorite of the just horror films in general. Dominique is saying, I don't consider TCM a slasher because the victims were coming to him and there's multiple killers. Yeah, TCM is one of those interesting movies as far as like where it falls in horror. Is it slasher? Is it psychological? Those are really the two main subgenre of horrors that you would have to put this movie in. If you don't consider it a slasher, you got to consider it like a psychological horror. If you don't consider it psychological horror, by default, you kind of have to put it in the slasher subgenre. It's interesting. I think there's valid arguments to be made on the other side. I think you have to have at least a definitive definition for what you consider horror, or for what you consider a slasher movie. For me, I would say I would consider TCM slasher, and here's my reasoning for it. I think, like, again, if you go back to that original definition of what makes a slasher movie, it involves a person, a killer, killing more than one person in the story. So if it's a creature that's doing the killing, it's not a slasher. If it's a monster doing the killer, it's not a slasher. It has to be a person or someone that was once a person, like Freddy Krueger. Freddy Krueger was once a person. So Nightmare on Elm Street would be considered slasher. Jason Voorhees was a person at one point, so Friday would be considered slasher. Michael Myers was a person at one point, that would be considered slasher. So they have to have been a person at one point, and it has to be one person doing the killing of multiple people. So if they're just stalking and killing one person in the movie, doesn't count as a slasher. For me, the reason I do consider Texas a slasher is because although it is a family that is doing that, like the story is kind of about, it's really Leatherface that is doing the killing. Like it's not really the family as much as it is Leatherface that does the killing. So for me, I do still throw it in there because I do think you could argue that it's really only Leatherface that does the killing. Like in the remake, Leatherface is the only one that does the killing. Like the sheriff doesn't kill anybody. The other family members don't kill anybody. It's really Leatherface that does the killing. So the other family members are fucked up, but it's really Leatherface that does the killing. So I would still consider Texas a slasher film. The difference between that and like the Wrong Turn franchise is with the Wrong Turn, those cannibal people, all of them are killing. Like they're all involved in the killing. So it's not one person. But with Texas, I feel like you could argue that it's really only Leatherface that is doing the killing. So by that definition, you could technically label it a slasher. Um, I do, but if people don't, or if they have it outside the slasher genre, I can totally, I get it. I get it. So that's not one that not a hill I'm going to die on. And Dom saying, I don't blame Leatherface because he's trying to protect his home and he's just not all there. He's not really a villain. Yeah, that is one thing about Leatherface is like you can see his perspective and kind of, I'm not justifying what he does, but you can at least see things from his perspective. So that does make sense. Mason saying the remake will never live up to the original. I will beg to differ on that one, my man. Let's see. My Chucky Joey saying I'd hate it more if Jack Nicholson was in it. Yeah, I don't think Jack Nicholson would fit in a TCM movie. He's brilliant for The Shining, fits that movie perfectly for that role. But you put him in a Texas movie, I don't know how he's gonna fit in that story. But yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Let's see. All right, so we're on to number 7 now. Number 7, people. Let me pull my list up here. All right, number 7. I'm going with. Stop it. Number 7, I'm going with Alice, Sweet Alice from 1976. Bear with me just a minute. My dogs are going crazy right now. Let me go kind of shut them up, and I'll be right back. But Alice, Sweet Alice is my number 7. I'll be right back, guys. All right. Apologize about that. Dogs are going crazy. What we got going on in the chat? Let's see. Oh, and there they go again. These dogs, man. Whoa, what is this? Hot take from Jordy. I hate Jack Nicholson and prefer the miniseries to the film because of him. Sorry. Ziggy says, woof, woof back. Wow, hot take on Nicholson, man. I do like Jack Nicholson. He's been in some great films. But we all have, I'm that way with Leonardo DiCaprio. I am not a DiCaprio fan at all. I can't stand him. I can't stand looking at him. So yeah, I intentionally tried to avoid movies with him in it. But yeah, I get it. We all have those actors that we're not fans of. but wasn't expecting Nicholson to be one of them. So that's crazy. Dominique is saying number 7 is Black Christmas. Good call. Love me some Black Christmas. Great movie. Yeah, that one definitely belongs in the top 10. Oh my gosh, these dogs, man. I'll be right back. I'm gonna let them in. I have them outside and they're squirrels and stuff running around. They're freaking out. So I'll be right back. All right. Y'all better behave. I let you in. You said hi. You said what's up. You already made me get up twice. Y'all better behave, all right? I apologize. Let's see. All right. Dominique saying, I'm a huge fan of Pauly Shore. He even did a horror film, Phantom of the Mall. Yeah, these dogs are crazy, man. They're Mason saying mother dog are turning into Cujo, the killer dog. Yeah, dude, these girls are they could make Cujo look like a lightweight. Jordy's saying Black Christmas is great. My dogs keep looking at my phone. Black Christmas is great. That's a great movie. Dogs are turning into Cujo. They are, dude. These dogs, they'll put someone under, man. They'll RIP you real fast. All right. So from Texas saying, I got a cousin who also doesn't like Leonardo DiCaprio as well. My cousin also dislikes tough guy action hero Chuck Norris and says that he is a bad actor. Chuck Norris getting some hate, man. What is up with that? Yeah, and I look, I don't really even know what it is about Leonardo DiCaprio that I don't like. Like if someone said, well, what is it about Leo that you don't like? I just don't like him. I think he tries too hard to be like a great actor. I know that sounds weird because you should try to be a great actor, but there's a difference between just simply being a great actor and then trying too hard to be a great actor. And when I watch Leo act, I feel like he's in his mind, he thinks he's just being this great method actor and he's just so good when really he's overdoing it and overselling it. And if he would just pull back in his performances sometimes, I would like it a lot more. But I feel like he's always just trying to make me like his performance so much. And I just, no, you gotta pull that stuff back some. But I also just don't like his face. I don't know what it is. You know, I know a lot of people love Leo, but I'm not one of them. Dom saying I got 3 dogs. Nice. I love dogs, man. I'm a huge dog person. Jerry saying the Amityville horror. Yeah, that's another honorable mention for me. That's one that didn't quite make the list, but that I big fan of that original Amityville horror movie. So I totally respect that one, Jerry. Um, Dominique saying Denzel is a good actor, but he doesn't try because he's just natural. Yes, perfect example, Dom. Perfect example. Denzel. Take Denzel Washington. So sorry, we're going off on a tangent here, but Denzel's a perfect example. When you watch Denzel act, he's not trying to be this great actor that's just trying to win you over and make you like him. He's just natural. He commands the stage with his presence. He commands the scenes with his natural energy that he brings to the character. He doesn't oversell it or over try to, make me like him. I like him because he just is his character. He's natural. He's got this energy about him. He's not overdoing it, but he's not underdoing it either. He's right on point. So yeah, great example with Denzel. Perfect analogy there. Jerry Wilson is saying Carrie. Yeah, that's another good one. In fact, I'm glad you said that, Jerry, because my number 6, ladies and gentlemen, children of the village, my number 6 is none other than Carrie, the original Carrie from, I think it was at 1970. Is it 77? Was Carrie 77? I think Carrie was 77. Oh, no, not that one. That one. Carrie, oh, Dom is saying 76. Carrie was 76. Um, okay. So Carrie was 76. Um, yeah, I love Carrie, man. I grew up with this movie, watched it a lot as a kid, and it still holds up as far as I'm concerned. Just a great story, about bullying and the effects of bullying and karma and how karma can come back if you're going to be an asshole who bullies people. That karma is going to come back around on you eventually. Another story where they don't necessarily make Carrie the bad guy. Like Carrie is this victim of one a bad home life, and a wacky, messed up mom, who's, you could argue, is psychologically abusive to Carrie and physically abusive. Shit, she's freaking throwing things at her, hitting her with broomsticks and stuff. Like, her mom is abusive, both physically and mentally. And then school isn't any better because she's getting bullied there. So they do a really good, tell a really good story, and have you actually pull for Carrie, who's not really the bad guy. I mean, these people that die at the school, they get what's coming to them. Now, obviously, there's a few people there that didn't really deserve it, like the the guy that asked her to the dance, not really her boyfriend, but the guy that asked her to the dance. He didn't really deserve it. He seemed to be a good dude with good, genuine motives. So, there's some people that she got out of line with, went a little too far. But you can really see her perspective, and you feel something for her because she has to deal with what she deals with. And yeah, it gets really dark. That third act is just solid. Um, Great stuff. So yeah, love Carrie, man. Love some Carrie. Let's see. 36. Mason saying it's great. I used to have a crush on her actually before my girlfriend. That might she might cause you to have some counseling sessions with that one. That's funny. Jerry saying Deliverance was good. That's a good one. Good call on that. Dom saying Carrie's not the villain. She's the victim. The mom and the people that mess with her are the villains. Yeah, they really are, and karma, man. Karma comes back and they get what, they get what they had coming to them. So, yeah, they put you in the perspective, you follow the victim and the people around her are the villains. So it's kind of reversed to like a lot of horror films. There's like one villain and then a group of victims. Carrie is different. Carrie's the opposite. With Carrie, you have one victim and then everyone else around her are the villains. So it's kind of that's another thing that's interesting and unique about Carrie. Pig's blood, what they use for real blood, yeah. Mason saying part 2 was weird, guys. Carrie Rage 2 or Carrie 2 Rage. Yeah, that one was not very good. Whoa. 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 Someone freaking out. See. Was with defending her. Oh my gosh, these dogs, man. Didn't the bucket kill the fella, or was he just? Yeah, that's the thing. Like, they don't really say. I mean, I don't know that the bucket would have killed him though. Like, I feel like a bucket falling on your head. I mean, it was, it did have some weight to it with all the blood that was in it. So that's going to give it some weight. Where'd you go? Hey, you right here. So the bucket's going to add some weight to it. And it was hung from a pretty high, I don't know how high it was, but the rafters were. But I don't know. I just felt like, and most of the blood fell out of the bucket as it was falling down. So it was really just the bucket that hit him. I don't know that would kill you. It may knock you out, but I don't know that would kill you. So I just always figured that knocked him unconscious. And then the fire that Carrie starts when the school burns down, that he just kind of died in the in the fire and the aftermath. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's possible for the bucket to have killed him, but I just always thought that knocked him out. And then she didn't directly kill him or overtly kill him, but she did, cause his death with her actions. So, but yeah, I mean, I guess it's possible that he died from the bucket. It was the bucket. It wasn't me. It was the bucket. From Texas saying, yeah, I think that dude was just knocked unconscious. Yeah, that's how I always interpreted it, because they don't say, like, they never say in the movie if it was the bucket or if he just died from, the fire. But I just always filled in the blank that he got knocked unconscious from the bucket and then died with everyone else in the fire. Carrie is the hero. She is. Mason is saying the remake was great, and of the best remakes, the new remake I am talking about. Yeah, they did a few. They did Carrie 2, and then they did like a TV remake from 2002 that I actually liked. I enjoyed it. And then they did obviously the new remake from, I think, like 2010 or 2008 or something like that. It was decent. It was fine, but none of them hold a candle to the original, in my opinion. I could be biased, that could just be nostalgia power working for me, but yeah, to me they don't hold up to the original. Mr. Rick is in the house. What is up, Mr. Rick? Saying good evening. Did you ever see the movie Who Killed Who Could Kill a Child? Spanish horror movie from the 1970s. It's like a Children of the Corn before its time. Very good and excellent horror movie. Rick, I have not seen that movie. I will just say that I don't really watch foreign films. It's not something that I really, you know, I have seen some foreign films. I have seen some, but I don't really go out of my way to watch foreign films. They're not really my cup of tea. I don't like reading subtitles. I don't like synchronizing the voices to English because it's never in sync with the actor's actual mouths. So that always bothers me, seeing that. So yeah, I don't really do foreign films. Again, I have seen some, but yeah, I haven't seen that one. I have heard of it. I've heard that it's pretty good, but yeah, foreign films just not really my cup of tea. My cup of tea. It's not really my cup of tea, I gotta say. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Mason saying the Hills Have Eyes remake might actually be my favorite remake. That's a good remake. That is a very good remake. I can get on. I can, you know, you. I got no problem with you making that claim. Dominique saying number 6 is Beware of the Blob. From Texas, Hills Have Eyes remake is totally freaking awesome. One of the best ever. Agreed. Mason saying original Hills Have Eyes must be on the list. Does it though? Does it have to be on this list? That's arguable. My Chucky Joy saying, to be honest, I don't think it would have even knocked him out. How weak was he? Taking shots, man. Taking shots. What you just did. All right. Yeah, we need to move on. Number 6. Number 6. Let me pull up my list. Wait, was that number 6? I Drink Blood was number 10. Did I go Omen number 9? I think I went Omen number 9. Texas 8. Was that Alice? Sweet Alice was my number 7. That's right. Carrie was my number 6. All right, so we're on to number 5. Number 5 is, where did it go? All right, my number 5 is this one right here, Black Christmas, baby. 1973 as well. And one of my favorite Christmas movies. Yeah, I love Black Christmas, man. I love this movie. Black Christmas for me is it's one of my favorite horror movies. It's a great movie. I watch it every December, and then usually another 1 or 2 times throughout the year. I'll watch it, but yeah, love Billy as a killer, very underrated killer. I love the tone. I love the pacing, the characters, the kills. It's a great movie, man. I love Black Christmas. Again, another early slasher movie from the 70s. It's just a banger. And it gets bonkers, man. Like there's some crazy scenes in that movie, but yeah, love Black Christmas. So that is my number 5. Let's see what the chat is saying. Mason saying it's me, Billy. Dominic saying Black Christmas, the scariest slasher film from the 70s. I think that's a valid take, man. That's a very fair take. I would personally disagree, but that's just because one of the other movies on here, slasher movie, I saw from a very early age, and it implemented fear in me that still carries to this day. But yeah, Black Christmas. Objectively, I can see how that would be the scariest slasher from the 70s. So, yeah, that's a fair claim. Oh man, Mason saying you don't see Billy much in the movie. You really don't, man. They did a good job using him sparingly. Really the only thing you see is his eye. Like they kind of keep him, they keep him in the dark for most of this film, which I like. I think that works in your favor when you don't show a lot of the monster, the killer, whatever. Use it sparingly, use it effectively, and they do that with Black Christmas, 100%. Um, Dom saying Billy is scarier villain than Chucky. Oh, 100%. Chucky is more comedic. Um, but yeah, Billy, I think, is much more truly frightening to me. Faux show. Mr. Rick, did you see the fan film It's Me, Billy? Not too bad. Haven't seen it, heard good things about it. I do plan on I might watch it. In fact, next time I plan on watching Black Christmas, I'm gonna watch It's Me, Billy first, and then watch Black Christmas. And kind of knock them both out together. But I keep meaning to watch it and just haven't gotten around to it. But I've heard really good things about it. So let's see. From text saying, I never saw the 2019 Black Christmas, but I heard it was god awful garbage, though. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. I would say save yourself the time and don't watch it. Because that description is a very accurate description. I'll just say that. Uh, let's see. Man, something's in my eye. Mason saying they don't show much of the jaws and of the shark in Jaws very much. Very true. Dominic saying the shot where they pan from floor to the top of the door, seeing Billy's eye as he says, "It's me, Billy," was traumatizing. Yeah, dude, that's a great scene, man. That's a great scene. I also love that first phone call when the girls in the dorm, they get that call and he's just going off, just saying all this fucked up profanity stuff, and it's just like it's creepy, dude. Especially that was like before the day of caller ID and stuff like that, like or like technology, cell phones, they didn't have that stuff back then, so you didn't know who it was that was calling. Yeah, that there's some great stuff in Black Christmas, man. I love it. Let's see. Mr. Rick saying It's Me, Billy is a sequel to Me, Billy 2. It's coming out in October. Okay. Okay. That is good to know. That is good to know. I will definitely check it out. All right, number 4, guys. Number 4. What do y'all have for me? My number 4, I'm going with this bad boy right here, Ridley Scott, Alien. Let's go. Come on. Alien, baby. 1979 classic. Ridley Scott just brings us an epic with this one. Love this movie, guys. I never get tired of it. I could throw it on right now and have a good time. It's entertaining. It's fun. It's scary. It's dark. It's time at times humorous even. But yeah, man, Alien, great stuff. Mm. Dom is saying his number 4 is Invasion of the Body Snatchers. So I do like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the remake from the 70s, but I actually prefer the original from the 50s over the remake. I love the original Invasion of the Body Snatchers from the 50s. One of my favorite horror films. I love that movie. The remake from the 70s is good. I don't think it lives up to the first one. It's not quite good enough to crack my top 10 for the decade, but it's a solid film. I can respect that. It's a solid film. 100%. Mason saying, "Yeah, let's go. They are the space monsters with the killer clowns from outer space." Yeah. Yeah, pretty much, man. Dom saying, "I like Alien. I rewatch that film once in a while, but I like The Thing more than Alien." Dude, The Thing, I got no problems with that, man. The Thing is phenomenal. That was on my 80s list. I think I had it number 2 on my top 10 from the 80s. So yeah, I got no problems with that, man. Alien is phenomenal, or The Thing is phenomenal. Alien is also phenomenal. I love Alien. I prefer Alien over Aliens. Aliens, the sequel, the second one, I feel is more of a action movie than a horror movie. And when I come to the Alien franchise, I want horror. And I feel like the first one gives me more of that. So I still love Aliens. It's still a great movie. But of the two, I prefer the original Alien over Aliens. That's just me. I know a lot of people love Aliens. But for me and my taste, give me the original, baby. Let's see. From Texas saying, Alien is my favorite Ridley Scott film. I love it. And I actually saw it in theater earlier this year for its 45th anniversary. That is awesome, dude. That's pretty cool. And I love that that's your favorite Ridley Scott movie as well. That's awesome. The Thing is a masterpiece, absolutely. Remember the werewolf from last week? It's your birthday. It's your biggest fear, dude. Werewolves. I don't mess around with werewolves, bro. Werewolves, they'll crush your spirits, man. Werewolves are they're yeah. I don't mess around with werewolves. They're the most terrifying things on the planet. I will argue that till the day I die. Um, Dom saying Alien 3 I prefer over Aliens. Really? That's an interesting take, man. Taking Alien 3 over Aliens. Whoo. Whoo. Hot take, but I respect it. I respect it. I don't think I've ever heard of someone taking Alien 3 over Aliens, but hey, man, I like it. I like it. Alien and Aliens are both great. They are. Both are bangers. Mason saying part 3 is so underrated. Let's talk about it. Yeah, man, if y'all want to go off on Alien 3, go for it. Dominique saying I rank the Alien franchise, Alien, then Alien 3, then Alien Resurrection, then Aliens. Wow, you got Alien 3 and Resurrection over Aliens. That's crazy. That's crazy, my guy. Man, that's wow. Hey, you like what you like, man. You like what you like. Respect. From Texas saying, I also enjoy Aliens from 1986. Hell, I even like Fincher's Alien 3, the one that so many people still hate to this very day. The assembly cut of Alien 3 is one of my favorite Fincher films. Yeah, I know Fincher isn't super big on that movie himself, but I think he's kind of come around to it a little bit. But uh, yeah, I think the assembly cut is definitely the better of those for sure. So, all right, moving on. Top two, guys. Top two or top three. That was number four. So we're on number three right now. And my number three, I'm going with The Exorcist, 1974, right? 1974 of The Exorcist. Sorry, I'm not always the best on years, but yeah, my number three is The Exorcist. Dude, freaking my top three, all three of these are 5-star films. The Exorcist is a 5-star film for me. My number two and my number one are both 5-star films. I love The Exorcist. If anyone has The Exorcist as their number one, I got no problems with you. I got no problems with it. Totally respect it. I love The Exorcist, man. It had one of the biggest impacts on me of any movie. It scared the shit out of me the first time I saw it. When I was a kid, when I was 10, 12 years old, when I watched this movie, dude, it traumatized me for years, bro. For years, I wouldn't watch this movie after that first time. Um, since then, since I've grown up and become an adult, I've gone back to this movie quite a bit, and I love it. I think it's brilliantly made. The acting is great. The directing is phenomenal. The story, it's actually got heart to it. Like, a lot of people just think it's just this, messed up paranormal possession movie, but it's not. Like, it actually has a story there. It actually has something to say. It's got heart to it. And I love it, man. It's scary, but emotionally impactful at the same time. And you don't always get that with horror movies. Typically you'll get horror movies that are either really scary, don't have much of an emotional impact, or not as scary, but a really strong emotional impact. The Exorcist finds a balance there. It's very scary, but also has an emotional impact to it that I appreciate. And yeah, and that score too, dude. Oh, I love that score from The Exorcist. So yeah, dude, this movie is it's crazy. It's messed up, but man, it's a good time. It's a good time watching The Exorcist. That is my number three, guys. What are y'all going with? Number three. Dom saying number three, The Exorcist. Nice. We both got The Exorcist as number three. Mason say she throws up a lot. It's got that going for it. Mason saying my grandpa's scared of that movie. Dude, still scares the crap out of me, man. That's what I love about it. I love a movie that can still get under my skin all these years later, and upon multiple rewatches, it still can do that. It still gets under my skin when I watch it, man. It's just it's a dark movie, bro. It's a dark movie, man. Yeah, it's an experience. The Exorcist is an experience. I'll say that. From Texas saying, The Exorcist is the one that started it all when it comes to all of these demonic possession flicks. It is. It's, it kind of birthed the possession movies, and it's still the best one, in my opinion. There have been some good ones. I love The Exorcism of Emily Rose. The Last Exorcism was also really good. But yeah, none of them reach The Exorcist, man. It's a classic. Mason saying most people say it's the scariest movie ever made. I don't know about that, but it's up there. Yeah, yeah. I mean, and fear's subjective. Fear's 100% subjective. What frightens one person may not frighten the next person. And what the second person might be terrified of, that first person might not be bothered by it at all. So it is very subjective, but yeah, The Exorcist, I would say, if you were to do like a survey, I would bet that The Exorcist would come out on top as far as like scariest movies ever made. Just from the impact that it had in the 70s, like it freaking my dad told me about like when this movie came out, he saw it and like, he told me about, just the effect that it had on everyone at the time. There was nothing like this at the time, bro. It just there's a reason it has withstood the test of time, why it's still so iconic because of that effect that it had on viewers at the time and still has on people today. So yeah, if it's not the scariest movie ever made, I agree, Mason. It's up there. It's definitely in the conversation, 100%. Mason saying, my grandma seen it back in 1973 and said if I was live back then, I would have loved to seen it on the big screen. The extended cut came out, shocked the world. Yeah, oh yeah, where she's turning her dude, that head turning scene, freaking. That's still crazy to me how they did that. Mason saying it's a one of a kind movie, 100%, man. 100%. All right, that brings us into our top two. Top two, my number two. I mean, if you guys have been kicking it with me for any length of time, you guys could probably figure out what these top two are going to be. I've mentioned them at nauseum. Uh, they're both 5-star films for me. I love both of them to death. They're both of my top two they're not only my favorite and my second favorite horror movie of all time, they're both in my top 10 movies of all time, period. So I love both of these movies, but at the end of the day, my number two, The Shark, Jaws, baby. Steven Spielberg classic 1975. Yeah, Jaws is Jaws, man. I mean, need I say more? Need I say more? It's freaking Jaws, dude. Dude, I never get tired of this movie. I love this movie. I've seen it. I couldn't tell you how many times I've seen Jaws, and I still love it. It's probably had the single greatest impact on society of any horror movie. Like, you think there are people that are still afraid of the ocean to this day because of that movie. Like, because of that movie, there are people that still won't go in the water today because of Jaws. That's the kind of impact it had. It was the first blockbuster movie, the first movie that literally had theaters with lines wrapped around it for people waiting to watch this movie. The legacy is just unprecedented. The impact is second to none. Just brilliant acting, great directing, great score, iconic score. Just it's a freaking juggernaut, man. It's a juggernaut. I love this movie to death. Yeah, man. Jaws is freaking it's GOAT status, man. It's GOAT status. Yeah. If anyone has Jaws as their number one, I got no problems with it, man. I won't put up a fight at all if you have Jaws as your number one, man. I love Jaws, dude. So yeah, it's my number two. Dominique saying number two is Godzilla verse Hedorah, less destruction, more horror. True. True. Um, Mason saying Quint, classic death. Yeah, he got RIP'd, man. The shark movie that started it all, 100%. From Texas, that scary man eating shark. It's a 25-foot, 3-ton great white. Yeah, dude, big boy. Bruce the shark. Don't mess around, man. He's a big boy. He's a big boy. And then Dom is saying, what's scary about Jaws is that great white sharks exist. They do. And the other thing is that they don't take it out of proportions. Like a 25-foot great white is actually doable. I think the largest great white ever caught or ever reported was about 25 feet. Like it was, I think, like 23, 24, 25, somewhere around there. So it's actually doable. That's the thing. Like they don't, like a lot of the later shark movies, they just blow it way out of proportion. The shark's like 50 foot or like 100 feet or like freaking half the size of the ocean, and it just gets so stupid and ridiculous. It's just like I'm checked out at that point. But with Jaws, they actually make it doable, man. And that's another thing that makes it so scary. Is like there are great whites in the ocean that do eat people. I still won't go out in the ocean. Like I've seen Jaws, dude. I know what happens when you go in the water, man. Yeah, it's awesome, dude. I love Jaws. From Texas saying, I also like Jaws 2 from 78, but it's not as good as the 75 Spielberg classic. I even like Jaws 3. Surprisingly, I just don't care for the fourth entry at all. I do like Jaws 2. That's a solid one, man. Jaws 2 is solid. I like Jaws 2. Obviously it's not, I mean, it's not even playing the same game as the original. It's not there. We're talking the like all-star level, the pros with the original versus like, minor league tier 3 team. Like it's no competition. That being said, Jaws 2 is still a fun movie. I still like Jaws 2. I could still kick it with the sequel. But yeah, it's no competition for the original. And then Mason saying, I used to have a crush on the girl on the beginning of the movie before I got my girlfriend. That's hilarious. Yeah, that's awesome. All right, guys. Number one, you guys already know. I'm not even gonna build the suspense here because you guys already know what my number one is. The OG, baby. Let's go. My boy, Michael freaking Myers. The original John Carpenter classic. 1978 is where it's at. Hashtag 1978 in the comment section. Dude, it's Halloween. It's Halloween. It's Michael effing Myers, my boy. Michael's my guy, dude. Michael's my guy. He's my favorite movie character of all time. I'm a Halloween fanatic, Michael Myers fanatic. This movie is it's so special to me. I never get tired of it. It's a classic. It's my favorite horror movie of all time. My favorite John Carpenter movie of all time. It's special. It's very, very special to me. And I honestly, I don't see any horror movie ever topping Halloween. I know no horror movie is gonna top Halloween. They're just not. So Halloween is always going to be my favorite horror movie. But yeah, I've had people ask me, do I get tired of watching Halloween? And the simple answer is no, I don't. It's just I don't watch it very often though, like because it's so special. I love like looking forward to watching Halloween. So obviously I always watch it on Halloween. I watch it throughout the year multiple times, but it's not like a movie I put in every week because I like having it be special. I like looking forward to watching it, you know. So yeah, but yeah, Halloween is that's my jam, man. That's my baby. Halloween's my baby. You talking Halloween, you're talking something very special to me. So it was the first horror movie I ever saw. My dad showed it to me when I was 5 years old. It traumatized me. It introduced me to the true boogeyman, uh, and I've never looked back. So yeah, love Halloween, man. It's the goat. It's the goat. The goat. What say the chat here? Dominique saying number one is Phantasm, the most creative fantasy horror film of the 70s. Hey, that's fair. I like it. Love Phantasm. That's a great movie. From Texas saying the night he came home. Yeah, baby, that's what's up. Mason saying I love Michael. Michael's the shit, man. I love Halloween 2. I do too. I do like Halloween 2 a lot. Um, Mason saying, I love them all. Give me all the Halloweens. Oh, Dom, fighting words right here, bro. These are fighting words right here. Dominique saying, I think Friday the final chapter tops Halloween 78. Those are fighting words, my guy. Halloween 78, dude, is that I mean that movie is god tier. Like that it's goat tier for me, bro. I like the final chapter. I do. That's one of the best Friday movies, but it's no Halloween, bro. It's no Halloween, my guy. There's only one Halloween, and it's Halloween. It's 1978, the night he came home. Yeah, but I respect it, man. All love, man. But whew, nah, final chapter 8. It's not even touching. It's not even touching Halloween 78, man. Mason saying 2018 is one of my favorites. Dominique saying love Phantasm, boy. Dominique saying the final chapter is the ultimate slasher film. I'll see that over Halloween 78 any day. Oh, you're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me, bro. Oh, I want to do some things right now, man. I want to do some things to you, Dom. all all with love, but I want to do some things, man. Halloween 78, dude. That's ugh. I can't go there with you. I can't go there with you. Dominique saying, I'm sorry, but Jason is superior. No. No. I will not accept it. I will not accept blasphemy on this channel. Uh Mason saying you as a 5-year-old after watching Halloween. Dude, yeah, pretty much, dude. So my dad when I watched it when I was 5 years old, he turns off all the lights, right? And this is at night, right before I'm about to go to bed. My mom and brother are out. I think they actually took a vacation about that time that my dad and I couldn't go on. So it's just me and my dad, right? And we watched this movie late at night, all the lights off. I still remember it clearly to this day. And then afterwards, he sends my ass to bed and he's just like, good night. And then he says, I hope to see you in the morning. Just keep your eyes open. And dude, I couldn't sleep all night, bro. Like, who says that to their 5-year-old, bro? This guy traumatized me for life. And for like the next week, I couldn't sleep because I just kept my eyes open, thinking that Michael was coming for me. Yeah, dude, it just, yeah, my dad's messed up, bro. He's messed up. I love him to death, but yeah, sick, twisted sense of humor, man. Dominique saying, listen, I'm glad you love Halloween 78. I think it's a good suspense film. Great suspense film. And a creepy film. Great creepy film. But as a slasher film, it doesn't connect for me. Hey, to each his own, brother. I respect it. I respect it. You like what you like. I respect it. But yeah, it's just, it's crazy. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to have the final chapter above Halloween 78. But you like what you like. We all have our own subjective experiences with movies. So I definitely don't fault anyone for going there. But for me and just my experience, that's a crazy statement. Mason saying, best dad of the year. When I became a dad, when I become a dad, I'm gonna do the same thing, dude. We have a trend now in our family where, like, my cousin did, my dad did this with my cousin Jake too. Like, when he was 5, my dad had him watch Halloween when he was 5. So there's a trend in our family where if you're a boy and you turn 5 years old, you're watching Halloween 78. It's just, that's, I don't have any kids yet, but when I do, they're watching Halloween when they're 5 years old. That's going to be their introductory into horror. I'm keeping the trend going for our family. Yeah, it's yeah, love it. That's it, guys. That's all I got for you today. This was fun, man. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Sorry for the couple interruptions with the dogs. These crazy mutts, man. I love them, but yeah, they can get loud and crazy on me sometimes. Hope you guys enjoyed it, man. I hope you all have a great weekend, a great Sunday. I don't know what we're going to be doing next week. Things are crazy busy for me. I'm still in film school, so I do film school. I work full time. I just got, I got a million and one things going on. We all got busy schedules, so yeah, I don't know what I'm going to be doing next week, but we'll figure something out. Until next time, guys, kick it and rock on. Peace out, guys. Love you all. Later.